Okay. January 29th. We are not the worst team in the league, which is nice. Coach wants us to add some offense. We need to move up 8 spots to accomplish our goal for the season. So I am going to take a look around and see who is out there on the block. I mean, Luke Hughes would be nice, but we need scoring help is what we need. Casey Cizikas is not that. Is there anybody offering up a player that could actually help us? The Sharks with Barabanov and Logan Couture. Sharks are definitely a team of interest. And of course, this ends up being a Melnick rule, which is fine because technically that might work out in my favor. St. Louis, the contract is fucking hefty. But we could look at Braden Shen. We could indeed. Couture, Barabanov. St. Louis would be Shen. That would be a tough one. Tampa, nobody. Toronto, Otto Stenberg's not good enough yet. Alex Pietrangelo, in theory, would improve our scoring. That contract is fucking rough. But having Petro and Yossi working together would be nice. But from here, I have to double check who has clauses and stuff like that we have to honor. Anybody else? Ryan Strome, Adam Henrique. There are players there. I don't know just how much help they'll be, but is there anybody here? We'll risk it. Here's the thing that I'm thinking. If people burn their points early, it's no sweat off my back because I expect us to be a bad team right now anyway. And then when they could really have fun trying to screw me over, they won't have the points to do it. Maverick Bork's not going to be good enough to help us out a ton yet. God damn. Would Jamie Benn actually fucking help us? I have 72k, yeah, and that 72k can go very, very fast. I said I'm not worried. Mike Hoffman is out there. Mike Hoffman is out there. As is the likes of Josh Anderson. Interesting. All right, really quickly. Back to Montreal. Hoffman hasn't exactly been crushing it this season, but he is on a 1-year deal, which isn't that bad. Rem Pitlick's been in the AHL. Armia is obviously not going to have much offensively, nor is Monahan. Josh Anderson has 21 points this season, somehow. Those aren't the worst options in the world. They're not. Let me just double check that they indeed clear. Josh Anderson has a no movement clause we'd essentially have to spin for. I don't even want to go through the hassle. So it would be Mike Hoffman if we go for anybody from Montreal. Dallas, 19 points for Jamie Benn, and obviously the huge issue with Ben is that contract, but Jesus Christ, a cap whale is not the worst thing in the world for us right now, is it? And Jamie Benn has a no movement clause. He's not in the last year of his deal. We can't get him anyway. Anaheim had a butt ton of players. Is the only way to describe it. Anaheim had a lot of people on the block. Henrique, Silverberg, and Carrick. Henrique's not doing that bad. Fits in the top 6. Silverberg's doing okay too. Carrick's in the AHL. Honestly, Henrique or Silverberg isn't that bad. Not at all. Honestly, that could be a double. San Jose had Logan Couture and Barabanov. Couture's got a lot of time left. Barabanov does not, and he has been awesome. He has been awesome. You put him with Philip Forsberg for the rest of the season, even though Philip Forsberg's now getting bought out at the end of the season. Barabanov would work out pretty well. We know that Schen's going to have way too long of a cap hit, and then Pietrangelo, same thing. In theory, shout out to Ghostface for the 8 months, by the way. Appreciate it. Well, a Melnick deal would indicate that Barabanov would be 2 seconds and Dante Fabro for a rental for a team in 28th. Fuck. Montreal with Hoffman would be a 3rd and Fabro or Mason Lohrei. Looks like coach is about to be mad. Because I don't know if I'm pulling the trigger on any of these deals. Shits and giggles, Henrique and Silverberg together. A 2nd, Lohrei and Schenn. Lohrei a 3rd and Fabro. What about just Henrique on his own? A 2nd and 3rd. I mean, you might as well. At that point, just to add in Silverberg. I got to try to make the coach happy here. I do have to try to make the team better because it's the goal for the season. It's Henrique and Silverberg. It'll either be the 2nd, Lohrei and Schenn, or Lohrei, Fabro in a 3rd, or I piss off the coach. I'm going to piss off the coach. We're not doing that. If those are our options, oh, coach, you can just get mad because, let's be honest, chat's going to end up trying to fire you tomorrow anyway. If you even end up being my coach after the season, which you probably won't be. I will have the ability to fire you. But yeah, given those options, given what we'd have to give up, that's a big fucking no thank you. Yep, and the coach is mad. That's great. That's great. So... Can you only find a trade would find a trade? Yes. All right. Well, pick a number between 1 and 2. Landed on 2, so I'm going to try to persuade you. So that'll be fun. Yeah, Peyton, you got it. As A. Greens uses the Gretzky, so Peyton Bentley is definitely fired. Hire next retired coach. So, yep, he's definitely gone. Well done, chat. Well done. We are closing in on deadline day. We are at 23, 29, and 6. Before this team gets significantly fucking worse. So that sucks. Where are we in the standings? I gotta see if it's even worth trying to accomplish our goal for the year. It's not. We're not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to make it up. If a player doesn't retire and become a coach, then yeah, they wasted their points. Or if I decide to be nice, I could wait until next season. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. All right. So we pretty much know that we're going to lose a random draft pick. I might just take that punishment now, but we will probably wait until the draft. Okay. So we are pretty much in a position where we are going to have to We're going to have to blow this up, as Altex utilizes a 1-game suspension. So we'll decide that in a minute. Let's see. We will pick a number between 1 and 19. I think we should have a limit of 3 negatives for you to stop shit like this. I'm willing to change it. We'll see. So again, 1 and 19. Player number 9, which is Wayne Simmons, will be scratched for the next game. For Michael McCarron, which means I'm just going to leave McCarron in. So, yeah, Wayne Simmons gets a 1-game suspension. We'll move on. But I am certainly going to list ourselves as sellers at the deadline. Kevin Lankinen breaks his thumb. So Keith Kincaid, why is Tomasino scratched? He has been suspended for the season, as decreed by chat. He will hopefully get traded at this deadline because I don't think we'll be able to overcome that negative morale he's going to have. So it is our very first trade deadline. There are some decent names out there, but we're certainly... Ooh, Jeremy Swayman. We're certainly not in a buyer's market. All over Swayman. Riley, Sissons, Fabro. Tomasino. Sissons. I mean, using Ryan O'Reilly... Sissons... I mean, why the hell wouldn't I do that? In real life, goalies are voodoo. It's not worth me spending money on a goalie. So... Alright. So really quickly, shits and giggles. If I were to move your UC Saros, nobody wants him right now. How valuable is Askarov? 2 second-rounders. Well, we'll be keeping him then for now. Cool. Defensively, we're not allowed to trade Yossi. Mason Lohrei might be our most valuable piece, and I mean... He's not worth shit to move. I mean, we might as well just try to get him to develop. McDonough's getting bought out at the end of the year if we have space. Dante Fabro, are you worth anything? Silverberg, 6th rounder, 4th rounder. He wouldn't be our immediate next trade because I wouldn't be able to pick. But yeah, I mean, he's only worth a 4th rounder. It's just worth keeping him on the team. A 4th rounder's not worth much to us. Luke Shen. Not worth much. Artur Akhtiamov from the Leafs would be nice, actually. That wouldn't be a bad one to get another decent goalie into the system. Carrier. Only worth the 7th. He's also worth Akhtiamov, which isn't that bad. I mean, Akhtiamov's looking like the only guy we could actually pick up so far, at least for a defenseman. Can't imagine Lozon will have any value. He does not. On the right, we have to at least explore the idea of trading Phil Tomasino because of the value he is going to lose for us after sitting out this season. Tymus Salmi in a 2nd. I mean, Carolina's more than willing to give up a lesser prospect in a 2nd. Maverick Bourque in a 6th. Ryan O'Rourke in a 2nd. Kuznetsov in a 4th. I mean, Kuznetsov in a 4th wouldn't be that bad. I have in a 2nd. I mean, if we were to do a deal, it would be Tomasino for Marat Kuznetsov in a 4th. That's not too bad. Gurionov. Suck if someone did the Melnick thing. Fun fact, we already have a Melnick one loaded up in the chamber. But I can still strategize around it. So, there you go. And there's only so many redemptions per night, per each option. So, I'm prepared. I'm still going to win. Like, I get it. It's the idea of like, oh, chat, you're really fun. I'm still going to win a Stanley Cup. Don't think I'm not confident. I am going to win. I am going to manage to navigate all of this and win a Stanley Cup. And then I will helicopter on stream and leave forever. That's exactly what's going to happen. Gurionov shockingly has value. Like a lot of value. So Gurionov definitely needs to get traded. I don't know why his value is so high right now. It's because he has 35 points in 60 games. He's up at the end of the year. There's no way I'm signing him for that much. So Gurionov is definitely out at the end of this season. We could swap Wayne Simmons for somebody. That doesn't even matter. Chat will blow their load in the first week of this, and then it will normalize. So far, that's proven to be the case. I know there's a lot of people out there that do have a lot of channel points, but I'm confident. I can't trade Philip Forsberg because we have to buy him out. So that sucks. Yakov, Trenin. Could also be used for the Aksimov acquisition, which wouldn't be too bad. Marcel. Okay, and then down the middle, Ryan O'Reilly has no contract protection. Could definitely get draft picks and younger by dealing. That wouldn't be the worst move in the world. Tommy Novak actually has decent value at the moment. Has 37 points this season. Contract year, he's going to have to get paid a lot more. And 2 third-round picks, a Lassie Thompson type. I mean, Jesus, yeah, Tommy Novak is probably gone too. We can go full fire sale here. Even within the limitations of what I have to do with one Melnyk trade. Even Sissons potentially landing us a third could go. He could be the one to sacrifice the Melnyk trade for. Well, there you go. That's the man who's gonna be Melnyked. Told you I still have a way to strategize. It's Mark Jankowski for Brandon Bussey. That'll be the Melnyk trade. And now I have freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. At least for the moment. We'll see how long that lasts. Colton Sissons. 3 years left. Under $3 million. Your value is higher than it should be. Third rounder would be a pretty good return. I do have to worry about some cap. Honestly, Lindblom and a fourth. I mean, Sissons for a fourth, is that worth it at that stage? Only thing I'm worried about with Sissons is not having enough cap by the end of this. So I do have to go off of who has the most value first and foremost. I have to make a decision about Philip Tomasino and how pissed he might be. I do think it's worth trying to keep. I mean, right now he's pissed. He hasn't played all season. But he is an RFA, and I feel like I'd have time to turn it around. There's Ryan O'Reilly, whose value I don't think will drop that far. Tommy Novak has to go. He'll never have value like this again, I would imagine. 2/3, I'm not allowed to do trades for more than one pick. But a swap for Lassie Thompson is not a bad idea at all. Or a second round pick in who I imagine is Derek Brassard. So a second for Tommy Novak. Or we pick up Lassie Thompson. Gotta be honest. Trades 1 for 1. Tommy Novak for Lassie Thompson. We'll get cheaper. We'll get more contract control. We'll deal Novak out for Lassie Thompson. Gurionov is the next one who absolutely has to go. Callum Ritchie from Boston. Hamasalmi. A lot of prospects. Oliver Moore. A lot of prospects in the mix. Ritchie, Hamasalmi. I mean, we did just pick up a defensive prospect Another forward like Callum Ritchie, Ryan Suzuki. I imagine Ritchie's a bit better because he's younger. David Edstrom, obviously, from the most recent drafts. Oliver Moore. I think I'm going to go with that Rangers deal. Oliver Moore is already signed. They all are. We're going to go Dennis Gurianov to the Rangers for Oliver Moore. They offered it. We're taking it. Thank you very much, Denis Gurianov, for fetching us a decent price, as I'm going to fire sale this bitch. I think we want to see if that Leafs deal with Luke Shen is still available. It is not. So Shen won't go anywhere. What about Carrier for Akshimov? It looks like the Leafs took that goalie off the market. Which isn't the worst case scenario. I mean, goalies in this game are fucking voodoo. Yeah, they took that goalie off the market. Phil Tomasino, just to double check. Yeah, that's obviously not going to happen. We're going to try to build Phil Tomasino back up. Colton Sissons, no trades for him anymore. So the last guy we could look at moving is Ryan O'Reilly, and currently there are no trades for him either. So I think our business is done. But Sissons and O'Reilly are two guys where, unlike Novak and Gurianov, whose values are likely going to fall, and especially they're going to ask for way too much money because they're built up on morale right now more than anything. We're okay. Okay, we actually do have a trade for Ryan O'Reilly again. And then what about Colton Sissons? Third round pick for Sissons. I don't know if a third rounder is necessarily worth it. What about Ryan O'Reilly? Morrow in a second, Hamasami in a second, Gulyayev in a second, Brad Lambert 2/3. Okay, we can't do that. So it's either one of the Carolina prospects or it's Gulyayev on St. Louis. There is something about sending Ryan O'Reilly back to St. Louis that would be pretty nice. Again, I have no limitations on having to keep Ryan O'Reilly. And based on what you guys have done to this team, or forced me to do to this team in such a short amount of time, as much as I'd like to stay loyal to O'Reilly, now really is a good time to move him out. Again, he doesn't have a no trade, he doesn't have a no move, so I don't have to stay loyal to him. I imagine Gulyayev's the youngest. We're going to send Ryan O'Reilly back to St. Louis for Mikhail Gulyayev and a second-round pick that was originally Ottawa's. Ryan O'Reilly is also gone. It's stupid, but hey, we're surviving it. So Colton Sissons is the last guy I had any interest in trading. I could get a third-round pick from the Bruins. I'm already going to have too many picks this upcoming season. And again, I'm only allowed 7 picks per year, so I'm already in a position where we are going to have to move a couple of picks as it stands. Ideally, those 2 sevenths, which I'm not going to be able to move right now. I can apparently move a 7th to Boston for Carson Barneson. It is true that a punishment is losing a pick. That deal with the Bruins might make sense. We got to keep our first just in case we can potentially keep it. It makes sense to get rid of 1 pick now and then know we're going to lose another pick for free in a little bit. It's nothing amazing for the 5th rounder. We might as well just take that 7th rounder. So our own 7th round pick. Deal that to the Bruins for Carson Barneson. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to lose one of these randomly for failing our season goal. Just going to pray to God it's not the first. If it is, so be it. But I feel like we did okay. I mean, we did a bit of a fire sale, but I mean, now we have Gulyayev in the mix. Lassie Thompson's here now. I know he's a little bit older, but Oliver Moore is now on this team. I feel like we landed on our feet a little bit. I feel like we did. You know, for as much damage early on as chat tried to cause, I feel like so far, at least, we're doing okay given the circumstances. I don't think there's any other moves that we can necessarily make. I think we're pretty much locked in to what we have. So that is our ridiculously busy trade deadline. Is the only way to put it, excuse me, as we play the Kings on the day and win 5-2. Let's take a look at what happened elsewhere. Ben Roger for Jan Ruda and picks. Obviously, again, we send O'Reilly back to St. Louis. Got Oliver Moore for Dennis Gurianov. Victor Arvidsson, newest member of the Minnesota Wild, for Ryan O'Rourke in a 4th. Again, we had to get... I hate that we had to get rid of Novak and Gurianov, but it made sense because the odds that they end up continually playing at a level where they're going to be worth what they're asking for wasn't likely. Brassard for Lyubushkin, picks involved. Cizikas for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, picks involved. Belmar off to the Rangers. Alec Martinez for Ryan Merkley with picks involved. Colin Blackwell for Gabe Perreault and picks. Barabanov ended up on the Blues for Zach Dean. Pick swap in there too. It's a very good deal for San Jose. Cam Fowler to the Minnesota Wild for Adam Beckman in a 2nd. There were some decent ones there. There were some decent trades there. Let's get a look for the moment, as it always is, at what our team's going to look like. Askarov has moved up to backup. We don't have to move him up this year, but next year he will be in the NHL. Kevin Lankinen's deal's up at the end of the year, isn't it? It is. We'll send Kincaid down. We'll run Brandon Bussey at the NHL level while Lankinen is injured. Our defense the rest of the way. We are going to send down Gulyayev. Anton Olsen, Mason Lohrei really starting to push for NHL level. So left side, Yossi, McDonough, Zaboral. Right side, Fabro, Carrier, Shen. That stays the same, with Lozon as a healthy scratch. Tomasino is still out for the year due to the suspension. Simon Knack actually up to 75. That's pretty good. And again, we have some tough buyouts coming up. It did call up Zach LaRue, who has improved to 4th line. I don't have to play him at the 4th line this year because, again, he didn't start there. So I am actually going to send him back down. No waivers. He'll lose morale, but he'll benefit from being on the top line in the AHL, for sure. And then down the middle, Oliver Moore, we're going to have to send down as well. We'll see who we end up calling up. I mean, LaRue would make some sense, but we'll just go with a veteran like Cole Smith. And we'll drop more. Leafs probably soon. I can't guarantee it just because I'm a busy freaking guy lately. This whole year's been busy as hell, but soon is my estimation. All right, so obviously we have 11 people there. We need 2 more. We need to get called up. So we can go for Jasper Weatherby, because that'll bring us to 12. And then Tomasino, we need to have his replacement. Zach LaRue might make this team. Actually, we're going to go for Anthony Angelo. We'll just go with the veterans. Again, I think LaRue will benefit more from being in the AHL for the rest of the season. So congrats to Anthony Angelo. He's going to play a good amount. Probably on the goddamn power play. As we get a look at what this team is shaping up to be. And the answer, as expected, is not very good. Not very good at all. Got to get Wayne or Sherwood onto the 4th line. It's only really possible to get Wayne there. On the lefts, swap Sherwood with Weatherby. Again, trying to get some line cam. Oh yeah, this team has been obliterated. You guys started the process, I fucking finished it. That is the only way to put it. You guys started this process. I finished it. Forsberg, Glass, Evangelista, Trennan, Weatherby, Sissons, Smith, Angelo, Grimaldi, Simmons, Sherwood, McCarron. With Yossi and Shen, McDonough, Carrier, Zaboral, Fabro. Obviously Saros, and for the moment, Brandon Bussey in the lineup. I do need to call up another forward healthy scratch. Top 20 was too generous. It was, but at the same time, I was willing to take on the challenge. The sim engine, you never know. You never know. I'm going to call up Mutter to be a healthy scratch because he doesn't have anything really going on for him. So AHL, for the most part now, we can just go best lines. I mean, we need to make sure that Pro Cop, actually, we have some defensemen that need to make it in. So Pro Cop, Livingstone at 24 can be out for Mathieu. We have a lot of defensive prospects suddenly. To the point where a lot of our 2/3 of our fourth line are defensemen. In which case, I'm also going to play Gulyayev there because I don't really care. We just need to have people in that freaking lineup. So, yeah, our first real trade deadline. And we blew it the hell up. Who the hell saw that coming?